Following the MAGA riots and the sacking of the US Capitol last week, President Trump posted some tweets which resulted first in him being suspended by Twitter and then for being permanently banned. Facebook and Instagram have also suspended Trump's accounts until after Joe Biden is inaugurated on January the 20th. So were President Trump's First Amendment rights regarding freedom of speech, were they violated? The First Amendment, it guarantees freedom of speech. And it's in the sense that freedom of speech, with a few kind of like exceptions, gives Americans the right to express themselves without having to worry about government interference. The First Amendment, it does not prevent non-government entities from choosing what to print or not to print. When the First Amendment was adopted into the Bill of Rights in 1791, it covered things like, the ability for a person to distribute political pamphlets, without kind of like fear of the government kind of like cracking down on him. It did nowhere state that a printer was obligated to print those political pamphlets if they disagreed with that view or opinion. It also was like, likewise with the newspaper. A newspaper wasn't obligated to run a political article or a political advertisement if it disliked it. Social media, as we know it today, it didn't exist back then. And, there's a difference between, the printer and the newspaper could kind of like pre-read something, whereas these days, it's kind of like you post and then it's scrutinized. So I do believe that the rules related to freedom of speech and the internet, they do need to be closely looked at. But it raises some rather tricky issues. Who does the regulating? Newspapers in the USA have historically been pretty much totally unregulated, whereas radio and television stations are under very tight government regulation by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. And they managed to get around that under the premise that it's the people that own the airwaves, and so the government was able to get in on that. So who owns the internet, though? In the USA, how would you even begin to enforce, the regulations on a social media platform, especially if it's located outside of the USA? So bringing this back around to Trump, it seems, at least in my opinion, the social media companies do indeed have a right to suspend and ban accounts if they deem them basically in violation of their terms of use. Arguments kind of like to counter that, and it's been pointed out that, there's a hypocrisy here, because some of these social media platforms they've not banned the accounts for other world leaders who have basically incited hate and violence, and, most notably Iran and China in particular. So I agree there's hypocrisy. I agree it needs to be looked at. The logical option is to move to a social media outlet that does tolerate your speech and your views. And indeed, many of Trump's followers, after Trump was banned, they joined the right-wing social media options of Parler and Gab. However, both Parler and Gab have now been removed from the Apple and Google store sites. And Parler was effectively shut down when Amazon stopped hosting Parler on its cloud servers. Parler has since found a company, a right-wing leaning one, to host it. But here is my own opinion. A social media platform that caters to end users, the people that are posting, it has a right to delete those posts if it finds them objectionable or in violation of its terms. And that goes for whether it's a left-leaning or a right-leaning platform. Even Parler has its limits, as shown by the recent deletion of a prominent Trump-supporting lawyer, Lin Wood. He made a post suggesting that Mike Pence be tried for treason and put in front of a firing squad. However, both left and right-leaning social media apps, they must be allowed to be purchased and hosted by the companies that provide the hosting services, such as Apple, Google, and Amazon. They shouldn't be on the level, in my opinion, of censorship. It's a very dangerous form of cancel culture. And that's going to be my topic for my next video. Probably imparting the thing that sums it up best for me are probably these two quotes that you're seeing being posted up right now. Do read them, see what you think, and leave a comment. I'd love to see what your thoughts are, and hopefully respond in kind. So take care all. See you in the next video. I hope you enjoy the independent and non-partisan perspectives that I strive to present here at Plagued Politics. And if you do, please help support the channel through my Patreon page. To access it, click on the Plagued Politics logo under the video here. Doing so will take you to my YouTube homepage. From there, you can click on the link to my Patreon support page, and there are some neat rewards if you choose to support me. Doing so will help me improve the quality of my content. The equipment, you can probably tell I'm in need of a microphone, professional one, as well as the software, and to be able to dedicate the considerable amount of time and other resources that are needed to create these videos. And please, leave a comment or a criticism down below. It is my genuine goal to try and respond to each and every one of them when possible. Thank you so much for watching and also for supporting.